Now, yep, there we go. Yep, mic is muted. Wasn't even muted, it was just the wrong audio input. Thanks for catching that. Well, what I was saying is I think that now that Bo is off doing her thing, I think that we're gonna see a little bit more of Din and Grogu living on Navarro with the Children of the Watch. But I think that so Din's in dad mode, and I think that we're gonna have to have something happen to pull him out of dad mode and decide to jump in and do something other than hang out with Grogu, because that's what we've gotten so far. He's just being a dad to Grogu, which is great. But I think if we're gonna see his story progress, we need to see something happen that pulls him out of that, and that doesn't mean away from Grogu. Grogu can come with him to whatever it is. Maybe it's Bo-Katan gets into trouble. Maybe she runs into Moff Gideon. We kind of get the idea that Moff Gideon might be after her. What was the episode? Was it 3? Where was it episode 3 of this season where the TIE interceptors attack them and they have to uh, they escape Kalevala, and but they bomb her castle and they attribute it to an Imperial warlord. Yeah, you're from the Netherlands, so how do I is Siem? Is that the correct way to pronounce your name? Siem. What time is it in the Netherlands? Yeah, episode 3. Siam. Siam. That's a cool name. 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, lucky you. Oh, it's out. Oh, that's cool. So it's out in the thumbnail for it is pretty sick looking. There we go. All right. Okay. Well, let's get going with this. So, I mean, the way it's going to work is we'll start this timer and start this episode. Watch it, talk about it. And for me, go to sleep. But if it's 9 o'clock in the morning for you, then you can, I don't know, go to work, go to school, whatever you do. Let's go full screen here. Oh, we're not capturing this. Not trying to get it copyright. Hold up. Window capture. We don't want that. There we go. As much. These flashbacks always tell you what is going to be happening. All right. Let's get that stopwatch going. Or not the flashbacks, but the recaps. I don't trust the armorer. I don't know about you guys. I just don't trust her. We're 3 seasons in, and we still don't know much more about her than at the start. Whoa. It's Moff Gideon. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Interesting. Remember we thought this was a Mandalore flashback? Apparently not. No. Is that Jack Black? What? It is. Why do I recognize her too? So why can't the Mandalorians outside? Christopher Lloyd. That's cool. I like that Count Dooku name drop. Wow, that's a lot of Mandalorians. Yeah, I got a little bit behind. My stopwatch is off. I haven't finished the episode yet. Just gonna fight him. She's gonna end up just championing him. Oh, okay. Sweet. Okay. All right. I like that episode. Well, I don't know. I like the ending of that episode. I'm not sure I cared for most of the episode though. Okay, so let's stop this stopwatch here. Okay, so obviously the big takeaway of this episode is Bo-Katan now has the dark saber, and the Mandalorians who left her because she didn't have the dark saber now recognize that she has the dark saber. Okay. Uh, I also felt like it was worth noting that throughout the whole episode, both Din and Bo complimented each other, and later on, Bo-Katan kind of reining him in as he struggled to deal with the droids. So I still think that there's room that, like, and I still hold to the idea that they need each other in order to rule well, and not even in like a romantic way. I know there's so many people on YouTube that are like, they're gonna be mom and dad to Grogu. I'm like, okay, maybe, but I don't. That doesn't need to happen for the story, for the sake of the story. But I do think they complement each other. I think that uh, Din brings something to the table that Bo has been missing, and that is the reluctance to lead. And I think that's going to keep Bo in check and provide maybe a more diplomatic lens to situations like the Ugnaughts, where Bo walked in and was pretty entitled to being served or uh, yeah, given what she wanted by the Ugnaughts, and Din recognized that you he recognized how to actually deal with them and kind of work with them so that they could get what they needed. So I think that Din is not going to be the leader of Mandalore. I think that Bo-Katan is being set up to lead Mandalore, but I think that she needs Din Djarin in order for that to happen. Cool. I liked it. Well, I'm going to get working on a couple videos, but it was a good episode. Not my favorite, but I just I don't love when they bring recognizable faces into Star Wars, like, and I realize that that's not like that's a generalization, but it just feels like in general when they bring in an actor or somebody that is recognizable from something else, it always takes me out of the story. Seeing Jack Black play a character who is a pretty minor character that we'll probably never see again, so it's not a big deal. But seeing Jack Black play a character that was basically just Jack Black in Star Wars kind of took me out of the story for a little bit. It was a little distracting. Don't get me wrong, I love Jack Black, but it was a little distracting. Christopher Lloyd, that was a cool cameo, and how Jack Black's wife, I know I recognize her. I know I recognize her, but I don't know what from. I don't know what from. But it's gonna kill me. Anyways, yeah. Overall, I thought the episode was fine. I'll put a little. There's a few of you that are. Let's see. Let's add a little poll. Did you like this episode? Oh, yeah. Okay, it's Lizzo. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I knew that it was going to be something that I was going to beat myself up for not recognizing. But yeah. Okay, so Lizzo, Jack Black, and Christopher Lloyd. Those are three pretty big cameos. And I don't know. To me, it's not a big deal that, like, cameos are fine. They're great. Obviously, Ahmed Best coming back as Keller and Beck, or debuting as Keller and Beck, was an awesome cameo. But that's Ahmed Best coming back is a different type of cameo than Christopher Lloyd or Jack Black. So, anyways, that was kind of my thought there with that that part of the episode. I thought it was really cool. A couple things I did enjoy about that portion of the episode, the whole droid conspiracy. It was cool to see B1 battle droids, the super battle droids, and they were voiced same voices in the Clone Wars. I thought it was really cool too, the Count Dooku name drop. That was just fun. Obviously, it was nothing complicated. It wasn't any big like story plot point for the Mandalorian, but it was just cool to get a little bit of a little reference to the Clone Wars and the prequels. Count Dooku is one of my favorite characters. A lot of my videos on the channel have to do with Count Dooku, whether it's a fan fiction or just lore videos. A lot of Count Dooku stuff. So I loved that. That was a cool little piece to me. But overall, yeah, the Grogalorian. Hello. What'd you think of the episode? So overall, like, it was a fun episode. I liked it. There were just a couple things that took me out of the story. Primarily the cameos. It felt like too many cameos from non-Star Wars, very famous people. And so that usually takes me out of it a little bit. Not a big deal though. I like that we're getting a lot of interaction between Bo and Din. Right when the episode got done, I kind of talked a little bit about this, but I like that we're starting to see how they work together. And there's moments when Din shines, and Din is the character who is like taking the spotlight, who is handling the situation well. And then there's moments where Bo is the one who is doing well and kind of getting them through a situation. So it's kind of like it's a give and take for both of them. There's not one, to me, of those two characters that is significantly better than the other. So haven't seen it yet. About to watch it though. Yeah, it's good. It was a fun episode. It was fun. My other concern with it though, we've only got 2 episodes left, and it still feels like there's a lot to wrap up. And it could just be that we're basically setting up a story that is going to continue into a season 4, which it's a cohesive show. Of course, it's all feeding into the next season, but it's almost like seasons 1 and 2 were kind of the first act that told the story of Din and Grogu finding each other, and then both of them figuring out essentially what was next for them. Din believed that finding a Jedi and getting Grogu to a Jedi was what he needed. And then ultimately that led to him removing his helmet. And then his next thing was redemption. And eventually Grogu comes back to him after spending some time with Luke Skywalker. So we got 2 seasons essentially establishing their relationship. And then by the beginning of season 3, and the Book of Boba Fett, so the Mandalorian season 2.5, if you will, that section of the show essentially established their relationship as Mandalorian and Foundling, and now they're solidly living amongst the Children of the Watch. They're following the way, although I don't think they'll follow the way forever. Now we're moving into something that is a bigger picture. They're going to be a part of the Mandalorian's new era. That, songs of eons past, speak of a mythosaur rising, and that's the sign of a new era for Mandalorians. The Armorer talks about that. And I think now the story is starting to shift to something that is less about a single Mandalorian and more about the Mandalorian people as a whole. Din is the knight in shining armor. The armorer endorsed Bo-Katan after hearing of the mythosaur. Yeah, I mean, I think that you can look at it this way, like Bo-Katan will, or at least it sure looks like she's going to rule. I mean, she's now got the allegiance of the Children of the Watch. She's also got the allegiance of her Mandalorians that she gathered, and ultimately they left her because she failed to retrieve the Darksaber, but that's changed now. So we've got Bo-Katan with the endorsement of 2 of the major factions of Mandalorians that we know about. And the Mandalorians are spread out at this point. So the fact that we've got 2 big factions, that doesn't mean like there's more out there. There certainly could be maybe remnants of the Mandalorians, although we're so far from that now that it seems more likely that the Mandalorians have kind of dispersed amongst what we're seeing. More likely, it's actually probably pretty possible that a lot of these Mandalorians that were traveling with Axe Woves and used to be with Bo-Katan, it's probably likely that maybe some of those have connections to the Mandalorians. But yeah, I mean, Bo-Katan, 2 major factions of Mandalorian support her now. She's being set up as the leader, but I think she needs Din Djarin as well in order to supplement, I think, her shortcomings as a leader. Who is my favorite? Din, Jango, or Boba? Definitely, I think Boba for me. So yeah, that's a good question. Where do you think Boba fits in to this story? Do we get Boba Fett in this season of The Mandalorian? Or is his story reserved for a completely separate thing? Because, he doesn't really care about the Mandalorian culture. At least not in like a social context. Obviously, Mandalorian culture has a big influence on him because his father Jango was Mandalorian and passed a lot of the Mandalorian teachings and things like that. Obviously, his armor is Mandalorian. So obviously, Mandalorian culture has an influence on Boba Fett, but the social aspect of it, I don't think he cares for. But it would be cool to see Boba join in. It'd be kind of a cool little character shift to see him going from not caring about Mandalore or anything like that to wanting to help in some way. Maybe even, I even thought of this. what if what if they go Din and Bo-Katan go to recruit Boba and even no. What if they go back to Mandalore, or they know they have to go back to Mandalore, and Bo, yeah, Colby, it was Lizzo, and I didn't quite recognize it at first. I was like, wait, who is that? I know I see Jack Black there. I see Christopher Lloyd there, and they're who? Yeah, it's Lizzo. Um, anyways, but I wonder if Bo will tell Din about the mythosaur, because at this point they're building trust with each other. I think that Din giving the darksaber to Bo is going to cause her to probably tell Din everything that she knows about the mythosaur, what she saw, and they'll talk about, hey, what does that mean? That means, taming it, riding it, that's got to happen. And what if Din is like, hey, I know this guy who's got a Rancor, knows how to ride a Rancor. What if riding and taming a mythosaur is like taming a Rancor? Let's go talk to him. So maybe that's how we see Boba Fett. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video on that. I don't know. That might not even be a entertaining video. It's literally just an idea that, hey, maybe they go talk to Boba Fett because they're like, hey, we got this mythosaur on Mandalore that we need to ride and tame so that I can have the Darksaber and a mythosaur. But we don't know how to do that. And you have a Rancor. So I don't know. That's just a thought I had. But the other part of me too is like, well, we've talked a lot, and obviously, like, there's a lot of Legends material, and I'm using the Legends term to refer to like the old Star Wars expanded universe, but also just to refer to even canon Mandalorian legends in universe that refer to Mandalorians taming and riding. Quill in season 1, when he's teaching Din to ride the blurgs. Is that what they were? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the blurgs, he talks about the Mandalorians riding mythosaurs. So Din should be able to ride a blurg. And so I think that we're getting some foreshadowing that we're actually going to need to ride the mythosaur and tame it. But I also think it's a possibility that they don't do much with the mythosaur, that it simply is a symbolic thing. She's in the water, she saw the mythosaur, and it's possibly been asleep for however long, and now that it's awake and rising, who knows? Maybe it's just symbolic, but I doubt it. It kind of seems like they've been hinting at the idea of taming and riding big creatures. Even Boba Fett riding the Rancor seems like kind of a tease at Mandalorians riding the mythosaurs. But anyways, yeah, what did you guys think? I see in the poll that we've got kind of a 78% yes, you liked the episode, and 22% no, you didn't like the episode. So if you, either way, however you voted, just give me a quick why. My favorite Star Wars movie, though, is... So, I've always answered Revenge of the Sith. Since that came out in 2005, that's always been my answer. But honestly, in the last year or so, I have really grown to appreciate A New Hope more. I don't know that I am saying that A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie, but it has risen in the ranks for me. That being said, Return of the Jedi is also a close second. So I would say probably for me it is Revenge of the Sith is my favorite. That I can just rewatch that any day. Number 2 is Return of the Jedi. Number 3 is A New Hope, and then probably number 4 is Empire Strikes Back. But if you that could change. My number 1 pretty much stays the same, but it depends. Horrible answer, I know. I know it's horrible to change your ratings, but I would say right now, if you had to ask me, go Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. So, and then probably after that, believe it or not, is Phantom Menace. I think that movie gets more flack than it deserves. There are things that are not perfect about it, but to me, that was one of my first Star Wars experiences, and I thought it was cool. I love Qui-Gon Jinn, so your favorite is Return of the Jedi. Sweet. That's awesome. And it's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi this year, so there's going to be a lot of focus on that movie this year, I think. I actually probably will. Let's see. Let me actually look up the date. But I probably will on May 4th or the actual anniversary of its premiere. We'll do a watch party of Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi. When did that come out? Release date May 25th. So yeah, I might on May 25th do like a Return of the Jedi watch party, just because I love that movie. I could watch it all day, any day. In fact, I might even, while I'm working on my Mandalorian video tonight, throw that on as background noise. But it's a good answer. Huh. Sweet. Grogalorian, have you Grogalorian? Wow. Okay, there we go. Have you how long have you been a part of my channel? Are you new to the channel? Have you been around for a while? Same with you, Gothic. Same question to you. Qui-Gon was a true Jedi. Oh yeah, Qui-Gon was like ideal Jedi. And that's why I loved him so much. He was like very much what a Jedi should have been. That's why, like, you ask the question, what if Qui-Gon Jinn survived and trained Anakin? It changes the whole course of the story. That's why Duel of Fates was Duel of Fates, because Qui-Gon was the Jedi that Anakin needed. Cool. Well, I am sweet. Just subscribed earlier this week. Well, glad you're part of the channel. Welcome. It's not a big channel, but it is one that I do my best to upload good videos and kind of have a positive impact on the Star Wars community. So, you okay? You came from Star Wars Fanatic? Yeah, I love him. He's awesome channel. We're hoping to do a live stream together at some point. We're just very, very different schedules, so hoping to get that done at some point in the near future. But yeah, I love his channel. He does a good job. Cool. Both came from Star Wars Fanatic. Good. Yeah, he does a good job with videos. Very, very fresh. He is a breath of fresh air in the Star Wars YouTube community. I feel like his channel it's different. He provides a fresh perspective, and has a lot of insights that I don't have. Anytime I watch one of his videos, I'm like, dang, I hadn't thought of that way. So good channel for sure.